Hello, good morning to everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our second webinar in the ICF International Canoe Federation Sustainability Webinar Series. And today we're going to be looking at collaborating for sustainable events. Our previous event was looking at two very nice projects in India and the Philippines, but today we're going to be looking at the DEC project, which is a European Union funded project with a number of European canoe federations. Today, we have a few learning outcomes from the session. We're going to learn how the DEC project helped to integrate sustainability into governance and operations of a number of European canoe federations. We're going to explore the opportunities and challenges that come from hosting more sustainable events. And most importantly, one of the key elements of this webinar is to share knowledge and experience. We have two great speakers today who are part of the project. First up speaking will be Anna Merlini, who is the Environmental Sustainability Officer for the Italian Canoe and Kayak Federation. And she'll be followed by Giorgia Griva, who will give her perspective as the Director of the Hellenic Canoe Kayak Stand-Up Paddle and Surfing Federation. Before we start speaking, I will go through today's agenda. We will talk mainly about the DEC project, and Anna will talk to us about how the DEC project was funded and used to accelerate sustainability within her federation and the others. Then Georgia will give us her federation perspective about how she was able to integrate and operationalize sustainability through the project over the course of the years and going forward. And right at the very end, we have a Q&A session. So please, if there are any questions for our speakers, any questions about the project, please feel free to put your questions into either the chat box or the Q&A, and I will be checking both. And we'll go through as many as we can towards the end of the presentation, the webinar. Before I hand over to Anna, I would like to share the floor with Cecilia Farias, the Vice President of the International Canoe Federation, who would like to extend her welcome and to talk us quickly through her perspective on today's webinar. Cecilia, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Matthew. Hello, dear colleagues and friends. Welcome to the second ICF Sustainability Webinar. Our sport plays an important role in promoting the environment sustainability. Following the IOC principles of good governance, the ICF development program has transformed into a sustainable development program. Today, the focus will be on the developing environmental circular knowledge. This is the DEC project. It was an initiative from the Italian Canoe Federation, funded by the European Commission through the Erasmus Plus Sport Program. It was endorsed by the ICF and the national federations of Croatia, Slovenia, and Greece. They were part of this project as well. DEC promotes the incorporation of best environment practices during our events and encourages changes. It created essential tools to host sustainable events, such as the Sustainability Rating Tool, or SRT. A tool of which I am particularly fond is the Green Guidelines for Paddling Events, which are friendly, very understandable, and applicable. The educational and training material and tools are available to all of you on the ICF webpage, as well as the DEC webinars and this webinar series. DEC was shortlisted for the IOC Climate Action Awards for International Federations during the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. We are responsible for incorporating once and for all the practices that would ensure that our planet will be a cozy home for federations to come. Youth are the guardians of the legacy that this project leaves. Thank you very much and enjoy the webinar.
Thank you very much, Cecilia, for the nice welcome. And I believe, Cecilia, you're staying for the whole webinar. So if there are any questions for Cecilia at the end as well for Anna and for Georgia, please feel free to ask them as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin the real content of our session and hand over to Anna, who will talk us through the DEC project and to give us her perspective. Anna, the floor is yours. Please unmute your mic and share your screen.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm going to share my presentation. Okay. Let me see if you can see.
All good. Perfect, Anna.
Okay. Thank you very much, Cecilia. Thank you to the International Canoe Federation. And I would like to say thank you to everyone, because you decided to be here this morning or evening, it depends. And I think that this is the first step for a real change. And as Cecilia told us, we are moving 4 steps in toward a real change. And today I would like to share my experience that we had as a national federation, Italian National Federation, thanks to that project. I'm going to give you a general overview of the project and of the aims of this project, and I hope to give you some ideas, some real and practical idea in order to move 4 steps in this environmental topic that we have to face with responsibility, and we have to share with all our audience. And it doesn't matter if we are a very large institution, as could be an international federation or a local club. The action that we have to put and that we have to propose every day are the same. And I'm really proud of this project, because that project was a sort of challenges for us as Italian Federation, not only for the technical part, the high level of technical part that we have to deal with, because it was the first time that the Italian Federation faced with this kind of topics in this way. The message that we want to share with you is to promote and to develop in real fact environmental circular knowledge and sustainability in environmental sustainability in canoe and kayak sporting events. And so DEC means development environmental circular knowledge. So this is the start, this is the base, and I'm going now to share with you our experience. Again, is the experience of a national federation that for the first time faced this kind of topics and this kind of structure, because we learn a lot. We learn also not only from by the environmental part, but also, for example, how to deal with this kind of project. So European project, European Commission are a very good opportunity for every institution, but of course, at the first time, it was not so easy. And I think that also Georgia could say the same, especially for the first steps of the project. So the partner of this project can be divided basically in 2 major groups. So the sport partners, and with the National Federation and the International Canoe Federation, we were all Mediterranean countries faces on Mediterranean Sea, and so we were Italy as coordinator partner, Slovenia, Croatia, and Greece, and we are all different countries with different needs, with different problems, different structures also in our federation. And so this was the first challenge. So put together all these differences, and then close to our federation, we had the important role of University of Sant'Anna with the Management Institute, and School of Sport and Salute, that is our was our dissemination partner. Sport and Salute is the most important institution close to our government part. Sport and Salute was responsible for the dissemination, the realization of all the tools and the materials that now you can use and that are available for free. This is important on that project website, and now also on International Canoe Federation website. Just few information, general information, administrative information. So the budget, as you can see, was quite huge, and we as Italian Federation, as coordinator partner, has to deal with this budget and to manage the budget among the partner. The duration was 30 months, so we had more or less 3 years to work on this project. And the country, as I told you, was all European Mediterranean countries facing on the sea. And this was the general situation. Let's start from the opportunities. So what we learned and what we could do together as partnership. So for sure, we increased our quality as a national federation in general terms, because we, as I told you before, we learn a lot in very different sectors. So we work transitionally across sector, across country, because we had to face different problems. We have to find different solutions. Sometimes for the same problem, we have to find different solutions in the different countries, because of course Italy is different from Greece, for example. Also in environmental terms, we had different problems. So sometimes we had problems with the lack of water, for example, but if different if we have this problem in Greece or in the north part of Italy, where we had the opposite problem. And so we had to find solution also in terms of event organization, without forget this environmental part, for example. So we address common needs among different sports, because kayak and paddle, so we have a lot of different disciplines in our huge family of paddle sports. But thanks to the projects, now we are approaching, we are developing and sharing our results also with different sports here in Italy, but also in Greece, for example. We are involving also sport, for example, not related to water. And this, I think, is one of the best and one of the most important results of the project. So share with the sport family in general, and not only with our kayak sector. And the last but not the least, we now are able to drive transformation and change. And when I say change and transformation, I start from cultural change. And we really need to do all our best to share our message with young people, young generation, and of course also with all the adults and all the people involved in our institution. But we strongly believe that the key is in the youth, in young generation and young athletes and students, because as I show you later, we work a lot also with schools, and we had very good results from this part. So of course that project had a general objective, and I try to summarize this objective, this focus. And first of all, mitigate the impact. Here you can see our picture related to World Championship, where our project ended, because we finished in 2025 during the World Championship in Milan. We had our final conference, and the main idea it has been to arrived to the World Championship with an improvement in terms of environmental sustainability. So we started 2 years before observing and assessing our situation, and in order to understand the state of the art of our institution, and then we close with the World Championship, and for sure, yes, we can see the improvement, but not only we can see, we also measure this kind of improvement. So this, I think, is one of the most important results. As I told you before, increase environmental awareness. So that project give to each partner the freedom to develop also a national project or other project that could help the institution to increase this environmental awareness part. So we had a specific action dedicated to the increasing environmental awareness. So we had to develop a campaign in this sense. And one of the most interesting part for us as Italian partner, it has been to promote circular economy. Thanks to the idea that day after day concretized our project, we develop also this particular project related to circular economy, but I show you later. So that project, an European project, is general. Divided in work packages. So if you are going to think about to participate and to join a project of the European community, it's quite easy. So now I say quite easy, but the structure is very easy because we have the so-called work packages. We had 5 work packages. The work package number 1 is the project management and coordination, so administrative part, but also this part, it has been very, very important for us as Italian partner because we had to manage, we have to deal with the European Commission and go into all the processes that we needed to realize the process. And so we learned also this part. So work packages 2 was dedicated to the assessment, to the environmental assessment. So we take a sort of picture of our situation in order to realize our guidelines, and as mentioned before, Cecilia, the sustainability rating tool. The main idea was to start from the base in order to propose to the audience, to the institution, a really easy to use instrument, a really easy to use tool that can be applied from the International Olympic Committee, for example, but if you want also from the local club. So this tool is going to be a very powerful tool because you can use in every kind, in every situation. So doesn't matter the countries, doesn't matter the dimension of your institution, you can set the tool as you want. Then later, after the development of the tool, of course, we had to test the tool and we have to adjust problems and face with some minor issues that we discover in the issues, and so. But we tested our tool, the sustainability rating tool in particular, in all the countries, and so now we have a final version that could be, of course, implemented. Is not finished. We hope to go into other projects in order to improve our tool. But at the moment, you can use, and later I'm going to show you also where you can find it. And the last two packages, work packages 4 and 5, are the most important in terms of dissemination and in terms of awareness, education and awareness. So the work package 4, education and awareness, and work package 5, impact and dissemination. In this work package number 5, we have also our legacy plan. And the legacy plan, I think that is the most important part of each event. I mean, when you schedule your event, when you are going to organize the event, you have to think about the legacy, about the future, because otherwise it will be an event without any message for the future, for the community. And we really think that this is very crucial part. And I'm really grateful today to be here, because that project ended in August 2025. So the project is closed, ended, but now we are here again speaking about DEC. And this is again another very important result. So that project brings also specific aims. Again, I'm trying to highlight some important words that can define our objectives, and I'm going faster because I am already speak about our objective, but evaluate is it has been very, very important, because probably some of you are already dealing with the environmental topics, but we observe when we stop and we observe in the reality what we were doing, we discovered that we had a lot of possibility of improving, for example. So it is very, very important to stop and observe where we are in this moment, because sometimes dealing with sustainability topics, environmental sustainability topic in relation to the events is going to be a little bit confusing, because sometimes I'm very good in a specific environmental area, for example, waste management or mobility management. So, and we don't care about other dimensional areas that need more attention. For example, in our evaluation, we discovered that we are completely lack in biodiversity assessment. So this, I'm going to end my presentation also with a few words about biodiversity, but we never think about biodiversity before that project, for example. Collect and assess the best practice, collect the best practices that are already available. So without invent any strange, or without go crazy finding solution, environmental solution. Now we have a database of 100 best practice that is available, but we did a huge work of research all around the institution, sport institution, through a lot of sports. So we collect all these data, and we evaluate our best practices, and we selected 100 best practices that we consider very good for our kayak sector. Then implement and develop. So after we evaluate, we collect and we learn about what we already have available. We implement and develop our instruments and our tool. The sustainability rating tool is going to increase the capacity and the knowledge of involved organizers to manage their environmental aspect and implementing specific improvement action. So the sustainability rating tool is not only a tool that is going to give you a number, a score, or that in some way is going to measure your ability to manage your event in a sustainability way, but is going to highlight your hotspot. And this is very important. So we have to start thinking that it's more important to find our hotspot, our problems, instead of show how good we are in dealing with in some specific sector. Because if we are good in waste management or food and beverage management, okay, very good. We got it, but we have to find solution where we are lacking, where we are weak, and the sustainability rating tool is going to give you this kind of information. And at the end, educate and inform and valorize the importance of the awareness of environmental awareness. So developing educational and information campaign aim at improving environmental knowledge. So day by day, after day, we hopefully can achieve our goal. And I can say, thinking about our experience, that something here in Italy is changing also in a very local situation. And I think that is one of the most important results, because when we speak about very huge institution, it's quite easy to share the message and to involve people. But the real problem is when you go in the local situation where we have a lot of problems, of any kind of problems dealing with our clubs and so on. But when environmental sustainability is going to become a sort of normal situation, normal topics, so we are going on the good way, in the right way. And we can valorize and we can emphasize our messages also with very small actions. For example, here in this picture, very nice, is an athlete that was medalist in World Championship. I have to say that this was an idea of our president, and instead of the classical mascot and peluche that we see every time during this medalist ceremony, we decided to give to the athletes a mocha. Mocha is a typical Italian object that represents our Italianity. I don't know if it's correct in English. And but this object is product very close to the venue of Milan, and it is in a circular economy chain. And so we deliver this message also with this simple action. So sometimes depends on the decision of the choice that we do. And if I remember well, we this choice didn't have a particular cost on our organization. So because often we hear that sustainability, environmental sustainability is a cost. It's not a cost, it's an investment. So we have to change also this mindsetting. And let's move to the deck results and to the sustainability rating tool, where you can find the sustainability rating tool. Well, I share with you here the screenshot of DEC website, and just click on this part, and you can you can fill your sustainability rating tool and you can download your results. Later on, Georgia will show you also the how this rating tool appear, and is very easy and easy to understand. Basically, you will receive a score. You are going to answer a set of questions. Each question has a score, and at the end, you are going to receive a global score. This global score represents the sum of each environmental dimension that we analyze, that are 8 in our case, and I think that in order to fill your sustainability rating tool, no more than 2 hours to do it with attention, and you can change, you can start before the event take place, and then you can go after the event to evaluate and to arrange your answer if something is changed during the event. And another important part is are the guidelines, because as I told you before, we have a very rich database that you can use for your organization. But the most important results and not expected result is this action, this project, because thanks to DEC, we propose to the primary school, we propose the Ripagaia project. In English, we could translate as a Ripaddle project. And Ripagaia, because we used kayak made of recycled plastic. So basically we cover all the Italian territory, and more or less at the end we reach 90 clubs from the Alps, from the north part of Italy until the southern part, more than 100 schools that were involved, and 1,000 of students. And so each club was matched to one or more school. And we had a first phase, so we went into the school with indoor lesson, and we focus on waste management, and in particular we focus on waste, on plastic collection. So we spend 2 hours in each class, in each group of students, and of course we introduce also the paddle sports, because the aims was to bring the students to the water, of course. During this period, we started the production of 1,000 recycled plastic kayak. And so we, of course, it's not the first time that we have plastic recycled kayak, already existed. But the interesting part of this production is that this kayak has been made by plastic recovered for urban solid production. So not so you have to figure out your bottle that you use at home, and then you throw in the bin your bottle, and recovering this kind of plastic, we produce this kayak. So with this concept, we try to explain to the student how the action of separate, of collect in the proper way the plastic, can produce the kayak, and then they have they used for the project. And so during the second phase of the Ripagaia project was during the spring, and so we go also during the summer. So we did sport activity in the club, and of course in different situations. So because we have rivers, lakes, sea, and so on. So Ripagaia project, of course, aimed to promote environmental protection, first of all, of lake, river, and sea. And again, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, we have several differences in our territory. So each club could develop this part as they prefer. Then develop a sport program from primary school, of course. That is also a sustainability development goal of the Agenda 2030. And the focus of this project was on raising awareness in relation to waste collection. And we try, and I think that we achieve our goals. We try to start with the production of kayak in recycled plastic. So this is our circular economy action that was not scheduled, to be honest, at the beginning of the project. But I have to say that it has been a very useful action, because as national federation we could we produce this plastic, this kayak, and then we give this kayak to more or less 100 local clubs, and they could improve their activity. And in parallel, together, we give this environmental message. So again, the plastic come from urban solid waste, and this is the innovation of this type of kayak. This action, of course, involved two important companies, Italian companies. This is Rainbow Kayak, Eurotank, with the Rainbow Kayak division. That is one of the most important producer of kayak, plastic kayak. They produce in rotomolding mode that is different from injection mode, and is fine for small production or small pieces. So this was the only constraint. And Polyplast, that is the company that produced the powder, and this was the I put here some pictures that summarize these processes. So the collection of wasting, thanks to companies that participate to this production. The first elaboration of recovered plastic, this is not the power, of course, that we use, but is the first elaboration. The first production, here you can see in the right part the production of the kayak, and this color, green color, is the first color that for the first experiments. And so first elaboration, first production, and first test with recycled plastic at 50%, but of course for problems, because we tested, and after a few months we had first problem, because 50% of recycled plastic was too much, and we didn't achieve the technical requirement that every kayak need to have. So we have to change our program, not to leave the idea, but to move from 50% to 30% of recycled plastic in our powder. And all this powder that we use are certified, and they are second life products. So these are the certificate of our product, and now we are still producing kayak, because thanks to this action, other institution, other local club are required this type of kayak, because they are carrying, even if the project is closed, they are carrying this message, and they want plastic, they want this type of kayak made with recycled plastic. And the good point of this kayak is that the cost is the same as we use not recycled plastic, and so I think that I'm finishing my time and my presentation, and I want to finish with this picture, because thanks to that project, thanks to this journey, to this adventure, because it has been a very wonderful adventure for me, and I think also for the other partner. Now we are involved in other environmental project, European project, and one of the most important is Benches project. Benches project is in relation to biodiversity. So biodiversity is another word, and is in some way a sort of mission that we have to face, because we are beginning very good dealing with sustainability, environmental topics. We are good to organize our event. Now we know that we have to act in a specific way, but we never think about biodiversity, or our first preliminary result show us that we are still in a superficial way, and we have to go deep into this kind of topic. So again, here are the partner, again, Sant'Anna and Italian Federation, but here we are involved in with the International Federation. And so this, I think that, yes, I finish. And thank you very much again. I hope to leave you some messages, and I hope to move your ideas in this kind of topic. And I think that the most important part now is to move from theory to reality, because with this project, we produce a lot of pictures, for sure, a lot of documents that are very important, but now we have to go to our institution, go to our events and try. And maybe sometime we are going to face with mistakes, or we fail, but it doesn't matter. We have to insist and go on in this way. So thank you. It was a little bit longer, but okay.
Thank you very much, Anna. That was a very, very interesting and comprehensive presentation. I really like when you talked about sustainability being an investment, and talking about how it increased overall quality of your organization and helped you uncover hotspots and lots of different projects like the recycled kayak project. And we'll have some questions about that at the end of the session. If there are questions for Anna or for Georgia's upcoming presentation, there is time, so please feel free to put them into the chat or the Q&A, and we'll get through as many as we can towards the end. But now I'd like to hand over to Georgia, who will talk us through her perception and her experience of the project. Georgia, please feel free to unmute your microphone and share your screen. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. Give me 1 second. Is it okay now?
Yeah, we can see it. We can see your screen.
Okay. Perfect. So before I start, I want to thank ICF and especially Cecilia for providing this opportunity to me and to my federation, of course, just to share our experience through DEC project. So this is me. My name is Georgia Griva, and I'm the director of the Hellenic Canoe Kayak Federation, with a degree in business and organization administration, so no experience in sustainability issues before. I had some experience in organizing international events as administration manager, technical delegate, competition manager, and many local championships, to tell you the truth. My federation, just to describe the profile of my federation, because we're a small federation, we're a national governing body for canoe, kayak, SUP, and surfing in Greece, and financially supported by the Hellenic Ministry of Sport. Our role is to develop public sports, support clubs, athletes, and coaches. Founded in 1999, we have registered sort of 950 athletes and 64 national clubs. We have a participation in European and World Championships regularly, and not only. Nowadays, we try to expand our sport to recreational activities, and that's why we're planning to organize an event in 2 weeks from now that also fans can join our events and just to expand the participation apart from athletes to fans. I'm not going to say a word about DEC because Anna described perfectly all the procedure. Just give me the opportunity to thank our partner because I had an excellent cooperation during these 3 years. So thank you all. But let's start from my part. Why my federation engaged in DEC? Because we recognize that sustainability was becoming essential for how we operate our sport, how we organize our events. We were already taking some small action, but it was not in structure. Also to expand cross-border cooperation with partnerships, that it was essential for us. To have the environmental principle into federation, not only for the event, but the governance as well, to have practical guidance, how to do things, and also how to get involved all the people and stakeholders around the federation. Federation was not just a participant. It was an active project partner. We contributed in the testing and implementation and all this period. We have a very good cooperation and make a national level dissemination. We had the procedure that we have to upgrade, and it was a period of changes. So after the end of this project, as Anna said before, we have the legacy plan. I will explain later. Just to give you an idea about our role and actions during this project, we have had a series of meetings explaining our obligation and the milestone as Anna described, work package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a very, very stressful period sometimes. We monitored 3 events in 2023, 2 events in 2024, and 1 event in 2025 where we implemented good practices. The most difficult part, to tell you the truth, during this project was the life cycle assessment that I have to collect data for the event. But finally, it's worth it because of this, we had a sustainability ready tool ready for use. After that, we had some workshop training session for staff at the beginning and also to engage coaches, clubs, athletes. I want to underline also the value of athletes ambassadors. And the final process was the legacy plan. The legacy plan includes all these things that we are going to follow after the end of this project. What was the impact on the federation? We have 2 parts, 2 areas, the organizational level and the operational level. The organizational level, it has to do with what we do in our federation in order to have sustainability inside. And the operational level has to do with what people see, what other people can get involved, and how we do that. So in organizational level, we moved away from an ad hoc decision making, and we try to be more structured planning processes. Increase sustainability awareness, as I said also before, but inside discussions and decisions made, especially for this part, to make sustainable our federation, how it's operates. So more strategic events planning than before, and strategic thinking and empowered role coordination. For operational level, this is the other area. We improved. I'm sorry, but this. I'm going to move the screen. Improved support to the broad and package sport ecosystem. We try to engage clubs and stakeholders to raise awareness regarding what we're doing, and also actions that may be adapted at the events. And we start having a new collaboration around, also to implement green measures in different events. And let me say something about the results. As I said before, in 2025, we had to choose each partner one event in order to have the measurement of the event for sustainability. So I decided to choose the World Cup in Cecilia. Cecilia is a small place in Crete Island, so very limited operation there. And I asked from the organizing committee to provide me a person that could have this role to be our contact for sustainability. So as you see here, the results, finally Cecilia was gain the final sustainable score was almost 80%. So for the first time, this club, this organizing committee used this tool, because this is the result of the sustainability rating tool, and managed finally to have the first place in the internal competition, let's say, with the highest performing among partners. And how they managed to do this? Cecilia nominated Nancy to run this project. So what Nancy did, we discussed about how to use this sustainability ready tool. She visited the DEC project EU, as Anna before show you, is in the website. This sustainability rating tool, this is a print screen. About 1 month and almost 2 months before the event, she started just reading the questions. So when she started reading the question, they had ideas how to run this competition and have the better results. So, for example, she had chosen not to use snacks coming from the rest Greek and also to have logistic, but she chosen to use local products as a snack to the athletes. Some examples I'm saying. Organized a local volunteer team just for the purpose of the event. She even changed the venue, the place where the venue is going to be, under the authority of ICF, of course, in order to reduce the rescue and charging boats. This has to do with mobility. So she reduced the mobility of the event. So she did small or big things for my part to have a better result in the competition. So if you ask me, there are 3 key areas where to focus somebody in order to make the change. So first, governance. Change starts from what we do in our federation during making decisions. So I introduce sustainability criteria for event approvals, for example, or you can see your daily operations, how to operate things according, having in mind also sustainability. The second is event organization, the obvious. Include sustainability, the strategic plan, into every stage of the event, not just the event, but planning, logistics, deliveries, and so on. Community, this is the third part. Last but not least, because you have to make things in order to engage people and being focused altogether to a sustainability event. This is my recommendation, how somebody can get started. You can make small things, focus on a few realistic sustainability actions first, that Nancy did. Pilot changes in one event before the next and the next. Use sustainability rating tool. Now we have the tool, so it's easier for somebody just to choose what will be appropriate for each event and to start adapt ideas in his own context. Include sustainability early in events designing. Make it part of the regular discussions, not just an additional task. Involve organizers, coaches, and volunteers in this. Build bonds between those stakeholders. So, what, from my point of view, is the key lesson learned? Start small, but start now. If you don't start, you don't expect something to be done. Sustainability must be part of planning. If you take a decision early, then you can follow your decision and make some alteration. But you must take the decision before. Accept the simple tools. Use your simple tools. You have the sustainability rating tool and best practices. So before planning, you can take it as a guidance and see what you may do in your event. So engage organizer, coaches, volunteers. It's essential. Also, if you don't pass the information around, then you cannot expect results. So cultural changes take time, but you must start. So my federation just finished being a part of this project as the project is over, but we have the legacy plan. We didn't stay just, okay, the project is finished, we did what we had to do, but we still make steps in order to have sustainable events. We're continue using the sustainability rating tool, focusing on best practices. We expand knowledge to more clubs and others community, promote sustainability sport. We have collaboration between other national federations. I'm very proud that the Hellenic Olympic Committee has invited me for presenting this tool to other federations, not once, third time. And also to new European collaboration to share knowledge across borders. Also, I have to mention before closing my presentation that you have to have the acceptance of the board of directors anytime you want to do something like this. If the board of directors do not want to be involved in this kind of new ways of organizing a competition, or organizing a training, or organizing club competition, then you cannot go forward. Also, if you don't use the sustainability rating tool, you don't even know where you stand now and how your performance is after some steps. So I recommend you just to see, first of all, the sustainability rating tool, see the best practices. You can choose what you want to follow and implement. So together we can make paddle sport events more sustainable, one step at a time. Thank you. It was short, Matthew.
Thank you very much, Georgia, for a wonderful presentation. I really liked your key takeaways. I like the one, start small, but make sure you start. That's a very, very important lesson for everyone. We are coming up to time because we've just turned 11 o'clock European time, and there are no questions into the chat. But I suppose my key takeaway from the event, from both Anna and Georgia's presentation, is that sustainability can be a real value for organizations. Anna was talking about being able to share with different sports. Georgia was talking about being able to expand across borders and making the organization stronger and more valuable. So that was a very, very interesting and key lesson today. If there are any major questions that you'd like to share with Anna and Georgia, I'm sure they'd be happy for you to share with them an email or to get in touch with them after the webinar. So please feel free to do so. Cecilia, would you like to close off the webinar with a few words or a few takeaways?
Thank you, Matthew. First of all, congratulations for the wonderful presentations. And just to highlight some of the comments of the presenters, time ago I spoke with Anna and I was so enthusiastic about the project that I asked, can we spread the findings of the project around the world, because it's a European funded project? And she said, for sure. And this is one of the ways that we found of sharing the good things that the project is bringing us: the internet, the webinar, the availability of the information on the ICF website. So thank you very much for doing that. The other point that I have to remark is that what the two ladies have described is the full life of a project, starting with a plan, allocating a budget, producing testing, producing reports. And sometimes, and definitely that's the difference between isolated actions and having a proper plan, and therefore the result is much more important and more valuable. So I really recommend to follow these things. Budget for the 400,000 euros. Don't stop to think about budget, otherwise you will never start. This was a huge project, 3 years project, involvement of educational institutions, of very well renowned organizations, etc. You remark cost versus investment. To change our approach to the understanding that we invest on the future. Sustainability is transversal to all our actions. And it's not just an action near the water or at the organization room. It is an action that requires policies. And the policies are good governance. And as the ICF goes into a process of revision of good governance, the sustainability policy should be addressed as such, and it should be one of the good results of this process. And last but not least, top to bottom, the message. That's absolutely essential. When the leadership is convinced about the importance and the urgent need of applying these measures to secure the sustainability of our events and in general in life, we will be much better. So from my part, thank you very much. Looking forward to meeting everyone for the next sustainability webinar to be held in April. So it's a wonderful journey, Matthew. Thank you very much for also helping the ICF to do this on this professional manner. Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone.
Thank you, Cecilia. That's right. Our next webinar will be in April, so please keep an eye out for that. And for all of you who participated or signed up, you'll receive a recording of this webinar after we finish. So all that is left to say is to say thank you to everyone who participated, and of course thank you to Anna and Georgia for their great presentations, and I wish everyone a nice rest of your day and week. Thank you and goodbye.